to the Johnathan Ross Show. Let's start by taking a look and seeing who's in my green room tonight. My first guest is a genuine superstar and a music legend. She's won 8 Grammy Awards, she's sold over 200 million albums, sold more concert tickets than any other solo music performer in history, and given us some of the most memorable hits of all time. I couldn't be more excited. She'll be kicking off the show. It's Tina Turner, ladies and gentlemen. Guess that, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. Why don't we? I'm trying to resist saying the obvious, but why find it? It's the truth. She's simply the best, and this is the reason why. Here she is. It's the one, the only Tina Turner, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on. Lovely to have you here. Come and sit down.
All right.
Tina. Thank you. Tina, so lovely to have you here. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure.
Now, you brought a bag on.
I brought you a present.
Gift, which is to be encouraged. I'm going to take this here and just see if there's anything good inside.
Well, you're going to put good things inside, but that's just information.
Yeah, this is all going on eBay.
Yes, that's
Tina, so lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Let's get it straight. Am I right in thinking you retired from performing? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, when did that happen?
About 10 years ago.
Okay, and what was the thinking? Why did you want to stop performing?
You know, I was always away from home, always away from home. A woman missed doing house things, decorating and shopping and just living at home, seeing the seasons of home. Never saw that. Always airplanes, buses, cars, trains. And I just really got tired of partying every night, every year, the same. The older you get, also you change, I think.
Now, the reason why Tina's in town is they're announcing a very exciting event. It's starting in March next year at the All Rich Theatre. It's on sale now for the musical of your life, Tina. Right there, the Tina Turner musical. And I imagine most of us are going to want to go and see that. Because what a life. Now, what's the shape you're going to be? Is it going to cover everything in your life? Is it going to start from your childhood and go through to the various stages of your career? Or is it going to hit the ground running with you performing?
No, it starts from Nutbush growing up. All of involved with the cotton fields and the church house, gin house, schoolhouse, outhouse, all of that. It's really quite old now, but it's still there. It starts with that. It starts with the grandmother raising me and all of the early stages into moving into teenager and then into St. Louis.
Now, Nutbush, you know, of course, I know Nutbush. I think we all know Nutbush because of the song, Nutbush City Limit. But
yeah.
That is Nutbush, Tennessee, that's where you were born. That's where you grew up.
Nutbush, Tennessee is right. Yeah.
That's the photograph. Now, is that a particularly quiet part of the town, or is that the town?
That's the town.
Wow. When was the last time you went back to Nutbush?
A very long time ago, actually. It was in the early stages with Ike and Tina, and I went back and visited the people that I had worked for. I was very proud to tell them that I was a star and all of that. Then we went to the area where I lived with my grandmother. All of those houses were torn down, but it was nice. I could feel the memory of where I was there years ago. I mean, I can't even tell you how many.
You mentioned Ike, of course. You were married to Ike for many years, and of course, there were bad things associated with that relationship, and people know about this. It seems particularly relevant now, what's going on in the world and what's going on in show business. But you just walked out. Now, how hard was it to get out of that abusive and dangerous relationship?
Well, it was very difficult and dangerous because Ike was a violent person, And at that point, he was on drugs, very insecure. And I had no money. I had no place to go. But I just took a chance. I said the way out is through the door. And while he was on one of his sleeping times, I just left the hotel, went out the kitchen way and down to the freeway, actually. And I remember something that during that time, I didn't measure the speed of a car, and I was running across the freeway, and this big truck was coming, and it went rah, rah, and it felt like it was over me. And I thought, well, I won't try that again. But I had to cross that freeway to actually get to the hotel across from where we were working.
So you took your life in your hands just to get away from
Yes, yes.
Right there. Because when you were with him, he kept all the money from the act, didn't he? He kept all the money and
He kept everything. He always said, when you leave, you will leave like you came. Right?
Wow. And why was it at that stage? What was it that happened and why was it you decided now I can take no more? Had something specific happened or was it just the build-up over the years?
It was just time to not take any more. It was constantly abusive, other things going on. There was no control. There was no freedom. It was just the sameness, and the violence. And you just get fed up and you say, life is not worth living if I'm going to stay in this situation. And I stayed there as long as I did because I was trying to help him from the beginning when he told me about his life and how hard it was for him to get a career going. And I promised him that I would never leave him. And I actually stayed because of that promise. But then it got to the point where it became really bad, really bad. So it's time to go.
And, you know, we've talked a little about the hard times you had with that, but what are the high points for you in your career? When you look back, what are the things that you look back on and you think, well, I enjoyed that. That's one of the most enjoyable things I had.
One of the things that I remembered was the first time I got a standing ovation or an encore. It was a television show, and I had finished and gone off stage, and they started to... And I remember I came back out, and I was so excited, and I said, do you mean it? I had never had an encore before.
Wow. But I'm sure you had a few afterwards.
Oh, yes. After that, I got used to it, and I found out how to handle it and thank the people and all of that stuff.
You wait till you try to leave tonight. They're not going to let you go. You're going to be here for days, you know. Let me ask about some of the other performers you've worked with and people who perhaps played a part in your career, especially when you came back as a solo artist, because I believe, is it true that David Bowie and both Bowie and Mick Jagger were helpful and instrumental in you choosing the material?
Yes, very much. They were there like, well, first of all, Mick wanted to do the dance. David was just a gentleman and being there some kind of way trying to find out what he wanted to do with Tina because they were like brothers, kind of like brothers that you are close friends.
Yeah. And
then I end up doing an album with David and a live show. We were dancing tonight.
Yeah, well, I've got a clip of that. This was live in 1985. I think it was in Birmingham, and it's incredible on stage. Let's watch this. And tonight, it's a beautiful version. I'm going to ask you about this afterwards. Have a look at it.
Okay.
You look like the two most beautiful people on the planet, and my thought watching that is you're going to get a room straight after this. That was chemistry, Tina.
That was chemistry.
What did he say to you? Do you remember what he said to you? Because you burst out. Because you know there's speculation about what he said to you there. I mean, you know they've had lip readers on that.
No report on that.
Well, let's have another look again. Take a look and see if you can figure out what David said to Tina. So if you know someone who can lip read, watch that, and you're, I mean... Okay. I mean, when was the last time you spoke to David? You must have been close with him, because, of course, he was just enormously sad, and so many of us were you know, saddened and moved by his death. When was the last time you were in touch with him?
I think I saw him in Brussels, and that was the actual last time that I went to his dressing room and we said hello and talked about the show and where he was going. And I remember the last thing he said, "Love you, Tina. Love you, David." And that was all. The next thing I heard, he was sick. And then after that, I saw Iman and I asked her how he was, and she said he's okay because they kept it undercover. And then the news came that he was dying.
Yeah, it was a terrible surprise to almost all of us. And you don't sing professionally anymore, but you must sing to yourself. You must sing in the shower, or you sing to your husband.
I tell you what song I sing. I want something just like this. I like that. I love that. That one I sing.
But if you hear a track that's associated with you, you must want to hum along to it. I mean, if, for example, you heard something like this going on, and this was just in the background, and it's rolling in, it must be kind of hard to resist just letting that tiny bit, just a little, you know...
I don't sing it like that anymore.
I'm so cool we had you there. I'm so cool. Let's hear a little bit how you changed it.
Okay, it started the strumming of the guitar, and I add a step. Every now and then, kind of like to do things nice and easy. You know why? You'll say, why? You have to say why. You know why? Why? Because we like to do it nice and rough, and then we will I haven't done that for 10 years.
Well, you've still got it. There's no doubt about it. You know, when we think of your performance, we don't just think of that incredible voice. We think of the incredible moves that went with it.
Yeah.
No, were you taught or did you develop them yourself? Where did that shimmy come from?
I don't know what that shimmy is. I thought I did mostly footwork, but I don't know. It was a pony. It was...
See, you're shimmying right now. You can't stop yourself.
It goes with the dancing. The whole body becomes one when you start the dancing.
Yeah.
So the shimmy probably came out of the movement of what the foot was doing. And it was all connected.
You don't perform anymore, but do you still dance around the kitchen like that ever if something comes up?
No, you know, a designer never wears his clothes. A singer and a dancer never dances or sings.
Okay, let's have a look. I'm going to remind you, you obviously don't need one, of Tina in action. Look at these dance moves. These are amazing. TV special we got that from. So you're very happy in retirement?
Oh, yes. I tell you, my last working day was here in London, and the 2 nights before the tour was ended, I got a really bad cold, and so I had to stay 2 days later. So I went, I did the shows, and they were terrific. And then I got on the plane, and I felt like it was the end. I was with my cook, I was with my husband now. I said, that's it. I'm not going back.
Well, although, you know, all of us are thinking, wouldn't it be great to see you again live? And I was lucky enough to see you live once. But at the same time, I don't think anyone would begrudge you that, because if anyone ever earned it, you certainly earned it.
Thank you.
You know? And,
thank you.
There's no doubt about that. And Tina, you know, I could sit here and talk to you all night given the chance, but of course we can't. I'm just going to say thank you so much for being here. It was an enormous pleasure for me. And to everyone. Well, Tina, a standing ovation. I'm joining her. There you go. Thank you very much. The fabulous Tina Turner. Now, Tina's going to head off now, but don't go away, as I'll be joined by Catherine Ryan, Claire Balding and Andrew Garfield. See you after the break.
But if you hear a track that's associated with you, you must want to hum along to it. I mean, if, for example, you heard something like this going on, and this was just in the background, and it's rolling in, it must be kind of hard to resist just letting a tiny bit, just a little, you know...
I don't sing it like that anymore.
I so thought we had you there. I so thought we had you. Let's hear a little bit how you changed it.
Okay, it started the strumming of the guitar, and I add a step. It started like that. Every now and then, kind of like to do things nice and easy. Then we change it to, you know why? You'll say, why? You have to say why. You know why? Why? Because we like to do it nice and rough, and then we will,
That's it. We got our own gig right here.
I want something just like this. I like that. I love that. I love that. That one I sing.